Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Deesser coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. I wanted to go over that Atlanta trap sound, kind of like with 21 Savage. I like his music a lot, so let's not waste no time. If you guys do have any more other different suggestions for artists y'all want to see down below, go ahead and drop it. I'm more than happy to get to it. So let's not waste no time. Let's go ahead and play a little bit of music. Let's go.
My friends all fall so
Call the first one savage, on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, B, Draco, pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't never ran off on no bar, but we still hopping out cuts.
All right, so that's me trying to do my best impression of 21 Savage. Okay, so let's go over like how you can kind of get that sound. So I like 21 Savage a lot with his vocal sound because he was the type of person that he developed. You know what I mean? You got to always think about your development as an engineer and as an artist. You know, like think about it. When you grew up in this world, right? You started out as a baby, you were small, you know, you didn't know that much, but you grew up into becoming a teenager, adult, and then, you know, after that, all elderly, you know what I mean? So life is always about progression, and that is the same stuff applies to making music. Like 21 Savage, you know, as soon as he met like J. Cole, I feel like a lot when he did that song, that's kind of like when his career started to change, you know, he started to do more soulful type of analog type of vibes, and that's why I really like him right now, because he's still talking about what he always used to talk about, but it has just a different vibe to it, a different taste to it, and every artist got to do that, you know what I mean? Because if you want to stay relevant in the game, or even if you want to stay relevant as an engineer, you can't depend on just making the vocal sound clean every time. I know some people, that's the difference between a good engineer and a bad engineer. A bad engineer, he wants to make it sound the same way every single time, because that's called playing it safe. You know, you can't be playing it safe in music. Sometimes you got to take a chance to produce something new, because that new sound is what might help you just take you to the top. So you always got to be trying new things, experimenting. So let's listen to what, you know, this vocal really sounds like without the processing. If you guys do want the template, y'all can grab it down below. So let's listen to it with and without.
wondered what was wrong with me. My friends all fall so easily.
Call the first one savage, on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, B, Draco, pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't never ran off on no bar, but we still hopping out cuts.
All right, so yeah, that was the before and after, and as you can hear, dramatic difference. Of course, it sounded like the original vocal was buried, the articulation wasn't there, but it's, you notice when I do bring in the vocal chain, that everything sounds so hi-fi, it sounds brand new, okay, but it still has that smoothness, a tone to it. So that's the kind of thing I was going for with 21 Savage, kind of like a balanced approach. So the very first thing that I was using something like the Abbey Road RS 124, and you know, of course, this is kind of like based off of a compressor from Abbey Road. This is a Verimute compressor, which means it uses tubes, and Verimute compressors, usually they're not as responsive. So you always got to think about this too. This one compressor right here for rap is kind of an interesting situation, because if the person is rapping really fast, like this compressor may potentially ruin the vocal because it has a very slow release time. So when you're picking a compressor, you always got to think about the flow of the rapper, you know, the release time as well. You know, how does it let go of the person's voice? It's got to be able to push and pull. You know, even your heart has a release time. You know, your heart even is a dynamic thing. You know, when you pull in air, then you push it out. You know what I mean? And as you, if like, let's say you start breathing a little bit more heavier, your heart is going to start responding to that too. So all of this stuff is not foreign. You know, all of this stuff is already inside of you as a person. So you always got to understand that. Let's listen to it with and without.
Wondered what was wrong with me. My friends all fall so easily.
Call the first one savage, on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, B, Draco, pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't never ran off on no bar, but we
So you hear very first thing from this compressor, you're hearing a lot of presence. So you got to understand that this is a tube compressor as well. Like I said, it's a Verimi compressor, and tubes also have a way of making it sound a little bit brighter. So it's kind of like I did an EQ move without even doing an EQ move, just because I understand what type of parts are inside of this plugin. So yeah, this is an incredible plugin. I'm gonna do a dedicated video to it very soon. But like I said, you know, I don't like the gain reduction to be too much for very beginning with the vocal. I'm kind of using it like an optical compressor, so it's around the 2 to 5 dB. So yeah, and the next thing after that we have for 21 Savage is we have his EQ move. And with 21, you know, it's nothing crazy. You know, I like how he has a snickering, a smacking in his voice. So you know, everybody's voice got a certain attribute, a certain selling point, a certain product, you know, that their voice that you want to sell the listener to be like, oh, I love this artist. So you got to understand what that is and highlight it. So with my EQ move, most important thing with the lip smacking, you know, I was really working just in that low mid, kind of tightening things up. And of course I had a little high shelf boost just to give it a little bit more of articulation, and you know, especially in that top end. Like I said, I just used the combination of the tube, you know, the tube compressor to get me that smooth, lush high end. Now I'm working into the strengths of that. So let's listen to what it sounds like with and without.
Wondered what was wrong with me. My friends all fall so easily.
Call the first one savage, on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, B, Draco, pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't
So really just using that EQ to go after kind of like the woolliness and kind of like that lip smacking. You know, people usually like that who have those characteristics in their voice, you know, I would promote them and tell them like, oh, you know, come up a little bit closer to the mic, because those nuances, that's what really gives them the character. That's what really gives them their identity. You know, 21 Savage, 21, you know, so stuff like that. Sometimes you got to dirty that up too, because when you use something like saturation, it makes that little stuff audible. You know what I mean? So like even the very first microphones, the very first radios and amplifiers and all that stuff like that, they knew they had to put a little bit of distortion, because the human ear is not used to listening to straight up clean stuff like that. You know what I mean? So if you're in a room all by yourself and it's quiet, like eventually your body is going to start acting different. It's gonna like start to act weird, because literally it's going to be like, where the hell am I? Literally your body's going to start doing that. You can also look it up. You know, it's a part of science where they say, oh, if you're in a room all by yourself and it's completely quiet, you're going to lose your sense of balance, because you actually use your hearing to understand like the depth and the width and the height of where you're at. You know, that's like a natural human thing. So any engineer that is always trying to like make things sound clean, not only are you just playing it too safe, but also you're kind of just going against like humanity, literally, just because, you know what I mean? You got to add a little bit of that dirtiness, a little bit of that life, a little bit of that character. Nobody can relate to a squeaky, clean, round, block face human, because that's not relatable. You know what I mean? So of course, in the beginning, you want to learn how to make your stuff sound clean, but after a while, you got to understand, you got to make your stuff really sound relatable. You know, the cleanness is going to come so easy. You know, it's very easy to make something clean, but it's not very easy to make it relatable. So that's something very important to know. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep zooming. So next thing we have is the C4. And with the C4, mainly, I was just using it as a deesser and a dehunker. You know, so I heard a little frequency right there. I dehunked it and then I de-essed it right there. Let's listen to it with and without.
Call the first one savage, on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, B, Draco, pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't never ran off on no bar, but we still hopping out cuts.
So you see that the C6 is doing also something that's very, very important. It's really just adding a little bit of that type of control, you know, and nothing too much, especially with the ranges. You know, the deeper that you go with the range, the more attenuation it will do. So like for the free flowing bands, the ranges are a little bit more because I'm working on specific frequencies. You know, I kind of soloed them out and heard, okay, that's kind of honky, and had like a heavy type of range, almost going all the way to 9, and especially with like the deharshing too. because I just understand the range. You know, you got to go in there with the multi-band and understand what you're looking for. So I was looking for a little bit of control and a little bit of janitor, mop the floor, clean up. After that, you know, like I said, 21 Savage is the type of dude that now he's kind of on his soulful stuff. So I use something like a Fairchild 670, and this one is actually giving me some of the, not only the brightness, more tubes was kind of the theme for his vocal, but also the input gain. So what the hell told me to use these plugins? Well, obviously the beat. If you listen to the beat, it literally has vinyl cracking in it, vinyl noise in it. So obviously, if I see that, okay, the beat kind of sounds analog, well, sometimes I'll use two things. I'll say, okay, I'll use contrast and maybe make the vocal sound kind of like super clean, not super clean, but super modern. Or what I'll do is I'll just keep going in. I'll get in where I fit in. You know, if I see if it's a size 10 shoe, well, I'll put it on somebody who got a size 10 foot, and I'll make the vocal around the beat. So that's what I'm talking about. You can't come into music with a predetermined mindset. I have to, because the YouTuber said that, I have to take that frequency out, and I have to make it sound clean, and I have to use suit. Like, you got to stop being like that. You got to stop restricting your mind, because, you know, this world that you live in does not promote you to be creative. Like, people don't understand that. You know, you go to school, they show you how to be a follower, and then after that you go out in the world and say, oh, you're not working that job, you're not getting money, you're not, like, there's so much stuff in this world, like so much stuff that will literally reduce your creativity. And if you don't have creativity as an engineer, you ain't shit. You feel me? We might as well just get Jack Pian Huang from China or Tokyo or Hong Kong to just mix my song for pennies on the dollar, because shoot, he got the same plugins. There's always gonna be somebody who can do it cheaper than you and faster than you. So you gotta understand your main selling point as an engineer gotta be your creativity, your life perspective, what you went through. All the stuff I'm always trying to tell you, your creativity, life perspective. All right, so let's listen to the Fairchild. It kind of brings that soul in there.
Call the first one savage, on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buds. I ain't with the rap beat Jacob.
So that's what the tubes do. Pretty much with the tubes, you know, it's giving you more of that saturation that's really giving you the other things that EQ, you know, people would always run the EQ for. So you hear a little bit more weight, a little bit more present. It really sounds like now he's up in front, because that's what the tube is doing. Add a little saturation to that low mid, you know, giving a little bit of bump to that low mid. And after that, let's go over to the SSL EQ. So I use something like the SSLE just because it's a little bit more clean. Sometimes I might pick the G, but you got to understand when you make things a little too dirty, when you overcook the chicken, when you burn it, you know what I mean? So I didn't use the G because at that point I would make it too dark, too gritty, and the beat already giving me that. So I used the SSLE. Let's listen to it with what it sounds like with and without. So, you know, just going in there, just working on that low, that smacking again, because, you know, I really came up close to the microphone, and also just a little bit of a roll off. I just like how it sounds tonally, and a little compression, just tapping it at the words that, you know, kind of have like more energy than others.
I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buds. I ain't with the rap beat Jacob, pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't never ran off on no bar, but we still hopping out cuts.
Yep. All right. So that's what we have it. And I love using the SSLE because it can be whatever you want it to be. Do you want it to be kind of like your general type of thing that you just use, like, you know, your first basic layer of EQ and compression, or you can use it as that sweetener, kind of like what I'm using right there, that final seasoning in the cooking process. So you see, it's kind of just like cooking, you know, marination, you know, cleaning the chicken out, washing the chicken, and then baking it. And then after that, towards the end, starting to put on the salt and the pepper and the seasoning. So you have the Magma BB2s, which is like my lemon pepper. So pretty much with that, I just use the beauty and a little bit of the beast, because, you know, 21 Savage, he's from the streets. You can't make every single song sound like it's too glossy. You know, if it's a situation where the beat is telling you, the music is talking to you and telling you should make it glossy, that's completely fair. But for the most part, always just understand, like, okay, which way I'm gonna take this? Am I gonna make this clean? I'm gonna make this gritty. Is this a street song? You know, I done had situations where it's like I'm in the studio with people who are from the streets, And this is where I learned this stuff. I really learned this stuff like actually being in the studio. And it's like I could just tell based off the vibe. They're like, yeah, the music sound good, but like they didn't even tell me. They can't even put it into words. But it's like I could just see like I gotta make this a little bit more dirty because that's what they identify with. That's how they grew up. That's how they came up. So it's like I gotta make the music sound like that. Like that's your job as an engineer. You feel me? You gotta be a painter. You gotta take a picture of people's reality and put it into something that is a song that can be heard. You feel me? So that's not something that's easy, but that's something that's really rewarding when you learn how to do it.
I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitch got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, BJ, go pedophile, all my ops get touched. We ain't never ran off on no bar, but we still hopping out cuts. Savage moment, my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, my...
Now you can understand too that especially something at this point, I haven't even brought in a deesser yet, and you just hear that it's all of these tubes, all of these components are actually doing like the soft, like de-essing, the de-harshing for me. So that's something you got to always be aware of too. And then lastly, over here on my side, I had a deesser. And this deesser was pretty good, you know. I don't think it was doing too much work, but of course it was just really rounding off those S's, the transients of rap music. That's the impact, clutch. That's really the impact. That's the weight. That's what makes it relatable. That's what sounds like a real life conversation. When you talking to somebody in real life, you don't have an automatic deesser in front of you. Like what the hell? Like when you talk to somebody in real life or on the street, you literally hear the consonants. You literally hear the words. You hear you hear the power that's inside of the words. So when it comes to making music, of course, I get that, you know, there's some technical stuff too, so we don't want that to run all over the place, but for the most part, you got to keep a little bit of it. You got to keep a little bit of reality inside of this so that when somebody's listening to it, they can make the connection. They can feel like, damn, like I really feel like what he's saying and what he's talking about. You know what I mean? If it's too perfect, if it's too much of a square, too much of a blockhead, too much of a Lego, people gonna be like, yeah, it sound good, but I don't know about it. I just don't feel it. And that's something that's very hard to get over, you know what I mean? So that's why I always try to tell you guys, you know, the truth. I always try to tell you the truth because I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that, you know, I have made. You know what I mean? I want you to always keep improving. So let's listen to this.
My mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitch got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat, BJ, go pedophile, all my ops get touched.
So yeah, by that time that the vocal even hits the deesser, it's already been smoothed out so much. It's already been, you know, massaged down so much that the deesser isn't working too jaggedly. You know what I mean? So sometimes, you know, I like to bring in a little bit of that saturation or even hit it with a tape emulation before it even hits the deesser, because that's going to smooth out the edges of the audio signal. So the deesser will become less audible, because if it's too jagged and the deesser just clamping down and grabbing it, you're going to start to hear the motion of the deesser. You never want that. After that, we had an RVOX, was using the gate, a little compression, nothing crazy. And then last thing, of course, you know, we had the fresh air right here, and I absolutely just love using the fresh air every time. It's just that mainstream sound. There's so many different ways you could get brightness through like an EQ, through like not actually like boosting it, but like the tonality of the EQ, you know, the language of the EQ, or, you know, like a compressor, like something like a Fairchild, you know, just open it up, default will make it brighter. There's so many ways to do the same stuff. There's so many ways to get down the street. You know what I mean? You know, so let's listen to it.
My mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitch got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rap.
And of course, it's like, I'm always being meticulous about these. You know, sometimes people, when they cook food, they don't put the seasoning in, too much seasoning in right away, because they know when they're eating it, that's when they're going to throw on that sauce. You know, so there's a certain process that you do stuff. It's kind of like making spaghetti when you mix, okay? When you make spaghetti, the first thing that you do is that you boil the spaghetti, then after that, you add the sauce. After that, you add the flavor with the meatballs and stuff like that. You don't throw on the sauce first, then you start boiling the spaghetti. That's not something that you do. So mixing is not something that's foreign. It's something that you you already know about. You just have to stop overthinking it and overcomplicating it. So yeah, with the fresh air, by the time you heard when I bypassed it, the vocal was already sounding so dark because I was smart about that. I made my vocal so dark knowing that I'm going into the fresh air and that's gonna do like the heavy lifting for the brightness. So now I really have a bright vocal, a mainstream vocal, but it's not annoying, it's not harsh, it's not ripping your ears off. Okay, then for the processing, we have the most basic stuff that we usually have, you know, just like a H delay with the eighth note, you know, nothing crazy like that. Not something that can really be heard but felt. Then after that, we have a doubler, just to give the vocal a little bit more dimension. All right, and this Abbey Road chamber, really, it was just kind of like a model of, you know, the throwback chambers at Abbey Roads. Essentially, you know, back in the day, people didn't have no digital reverbs and all that stuff like that at a certain point. So they had to have an actual room and put a speaker and everything like that. So this is just serving as a pillow for the bed of music. You know, it's just pretty much putting like a cloud of ambience. If anything, it's not really can be heard either.
My mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub.
All right, so then you hear that right there. And then the last thing that we have here is a Fairchild 660. And that's kind of like my parallel compression. I have it on time constant 6, which is automatic release. So it's kind of like letting go of it a little bit more dynamically. And of course, I'm not hitting it too hard, but I am cranking up a little bit more input gain just for more juice, some more grit, some more bite. You know, this is a street song. You know, he talking about that street life and everything that he used to do and this, and he a boss. So you got to make that gritty because that's what the lyrics are saying. You know, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just listening to the music. That's the problem. Some people, they want to be an engineer, right? But then they're the type of person in real life that they don't let people talk. So now it's the time for them to come make music. And now, you know, like you're having such a hard time with actually letting the music talk to you and telling you what to do, because the music always gonna guide you and lead you to do what you do. Because maybe, you know, you just a person who literally talks over everybody, and now you're talking over the music. You know what I mean? So you got to understand too, like engineers about life perspective. You got to be the type of person who's listening, who's considerate other people's perspective and stuff like that. Because when it's time to make the music, if you a jerk, it's gonna show up in the music. So let's keep going.
I'm on my mood, that what it was. 20.
All right, so let's keep going with the Adlibs. And with the Adlibs, you know, we had a crazy chain right here. I had something like an EQ that was just really giving me that positioning and everything like that. You know, everything, all the fluff I didn't need, I was just carving it away from the carrot, you know, which is the Adlibs. I'm just taking off the skin and all the peel. That's what this basic EQ move is. After that, we have something like the RVOCs. It's using that gate to tighten it up.
I'm on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich.
So it helps add a little bit of urgency to the Adlibs. It sounds like the Adlibs is barely coming through. It's like peekaboo, peekaboo. So that's what I see the gate as. And then after that, we had an SSL, you know, just being pretty aggressive with the lows again, you know, just really going at it and kind of using this green band to give a warming characteristic and compensating for it. So mixing is all about a bunch of counter moves. And then after that, I have the CLA effects right here. Nothing crazy, just to give me like distortion, a delay, a pitch. You know, honestly, you probably even wouldn't necessarily need this one specifically. You could use a bunch of other different plugins to get that same effect of distortion, delay, and, you know, pitch or whatever, tape phase. But realistically, I'm always trying to consolidate stuff. I'm always trying to figure out how to use the least amount of plugins. So if I can find a plugin that can do the same thing that 3 plugins can do by any means, it would be quicker for you and always keep you in your vibe. All right, so after that, we have something like the mono mod. And with the mono mod, it's pretty good because he's saying 21, 21. Like he's kind of monotone about his ad lib and he keeps repeating the same stuff. So I use like something like a mono mod to spice it up. So it's going left and right and just adding a little bit more emotion.
I'm on my mood, that what it was. 2016, we were riding around, beat niggas up in the club. I know she around for the money, but act like she loyal, I don't for the love. I'm so rich, get bored, might wake up, buy me a car just cuz. The titties is hard, cause she spending 5, my bitch, it cost me a dub. All of my bitches got BBLs, all my bitches got buzz. I ain't with the rat beat, Draco, pedophile.
So that's what I like about the mono mod. It's so random. It brings in that human aspect, the non-linearities of making music. And then I had, of course, another parallel compressor using the SSL channel. That's why the SSL channel is so versatile. You know, it can be used as a channel strip, a parallel compressor, a gate, whatever you want it to be. You know, that's how I feel about all of these tools. You know, it's all coming down to your imagination, bit. You know, just because I use a plugin in one way, that don't mean you got to use it that way. You know, don't restrict yourself. Like I said, the world that you live in is trying to restrict you. So now that it's time to make music, this is the one place you can be completely free at. So take advantage of it. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much all that we got for the tutorial today for 21 Savage. What's gonna happen is, you know, I'm gonna drop the link down below just in case if y'all want to get the template, and you're gonna get the beat leveler, the lead vocal, the ad-lib preset, as well as a mastering bus preset as well. So I just want to say thank you very much for being a great part of my YouTube family. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.